Welcome to the PHNX Sun Devils Show. I'm Anthony Totri. This guy right here is Erik Ruby. That guy right there, that's Big Pokey, also known as Shane Dieffenbach. And we got DJ Danielle doing it all behind the Mac.
DJ Danielle.
Guys, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and also, if you're listening on audio for the first time, drop a 5-star review. Let us know what you like about this podcast. Obviously, we got a lot going on with March Madness. You know, the Arizona State Sun Devils, of course.
They just lost, actually.
Yeah, they did.
They just got bounced.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. It is what it is at this point. Now, in all seriousness, we will talk about Arizona State basketball for a tad about midway through the show because we have another Sun Devil entering the transfer portal, but I want to start off with the big news this morning.
Duquesne upsetting BYU.
Stop it. Just stop it. 24/7 Sports reporting that quarterback Jaden Rashada is expected to miss spring football due to surgery that he has had on his thumb on his throwing hand. Apparently, this injury occurred while he was moving apartments. I guess picked up a box. And shit went haywire. So, initial reaction, Erik, I'm going to start with you, to Arizona State, obviously starting spring ball here in the next few days, and they're going to be without expected QB1, at the very least a quarterback who is going to be in the midst of the quarterback competition.
Yeah, long term, it's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
And missing spring ball when it comes to October and you're in the middle of the season, like that's not really going to matter. But for where we are right now, coming off of this basketball season, having this exciting buildup of an off season for ASU football, and then for this to happen, I can't lie, it's a little bit deflating. Yeah. Like, it's not panic button, oh my God, what are we going to do? But it is like, damn.
Yeah. No, it's certainly, I think there's a lot of people that around this time of the year, there is reason to be excited about your football team, regardless of what they did.
It's a clean slate.
The year before, a clean slate.
That's why college sports are the best.
And now, though, you're talking about a guy who dealt with a lot of injury last season, obviously, with his leg. And, again, this is a unique situation, but it is something that you're like really? Like, why us? And I know we're not having surgery, but still, it feels like it's a gut punch for a program that needs a win.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. That's you hit the nail on the head. Like it's just, and Erik said it well too. Like, it's not like, the installs might be slower. Yeah, he has less time with the players and chemistry, but spring ball is like more of the litmus test. Like, you're not really installing everything because your freshmen aren't there. That being said, you just kind of needed this to go well at the start. Like, you really, the school, the players, like the fans especially, needed to see a Rashada dime on a Friday just to feel something.
Yeah.
And now you're not going to see that. And that sucks. And what really, really hurts is it's not like he's going to be out to start spring ball. He's out spring ball.
Yeah.
Like, you're not seeing him in the spring.
Yeah. Which
you're going to have to wait till fall.
Now, I would say the nice thing in terms of trying to build chemistry with some of those wideouts, right, is there hasn't been a lot of additions in the offseason, specifically at the wide receiver position for Arizona State. The tight ends a little bit differently. Yes, the running backs. He's still going to have the same starting center moving forward, which I think will help. Now, I think zooming out, you talk about the Arizona State quarterback competition as a whole, because we do talk about Jaden Rashada in a sense of like, this is the guy expected to go out and be QB1 when Arizona State kicks off a season in the Big 12. But in reality now, it really does open the door for Michigan State transfer Sam Leavitt and Trenton Bourguet.
Yep. 100%.
Like, it's
which is it's kind of interesting, right? Like, you would prefer all of them to be out there and to compete with each other, but now you really get to see what Sam Leavitt's all about.
Yeah.
And maybe if we want to spin zone this, which is kind of what we have to do if we want to stay positive, maybe Jaden Rashada watches Sam cut it up and play really well. And maybe he's like, oh shit, like now I can't play right now. I got to hit, the playbook more. I've got
to bring my best in the fall.
Exactly. Yeah. And at that part, you're kind of just like picking and choosing, like, oh, what could be good out of this? But I mean, Rashada wasn't the type of dude to leave.
Yeah.
When Leavitt came, and he stuck through a pretty rough season, and he obviously wants to be here. So it's not like I think he needs a lot of extra motivation, but I don't know, if I was him and I got hurt in a non-football injury and I had to sit and watch, like that would kind of build that fire up in me. So long term, maybe you can turn it into a positive, but short term, even for guys like us and for people in the chat and like for like the diehards and everything like that, like spring football was kind of this like moment that we were building up to. Like, oh, I know me and you were talking about it. Like, and I'm sure you were thinking the same thing, Shane. Like,
all's in the bus. Just...
At least we have a spring football coming.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's an exciting time,
and the weather's perfect for now. Like, it's so nice to be out there. And look, the quarterback is the most important position in football, no doubt. That being said, there's a lot of players that I'm excited to watch, and this doesn't kill all of the buzz. Like, you have a lot of guys that are returning, you have a lot of guys that are new, and you have a lot of guys that are expected to take a step and be in a new role.
Yeah, that
we get to see a first look of, and this is without even counting the freshmen. But the transfers are what I'm really excited to see. There's a couple really, really, really exciting guys coming in this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they're across all positions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in terms of just continuing with that quarterback competition and Sam Leavitt specifically, I feel like this injury, there is, from Sam's perspective, obviously you don't want to see a teammate get hurt. But in terms of the competition in and of itself, I think there's part of it where it's like, damn, like, iron sharpens iron. Yes, it's a cliche, but you want to be competing and see who's the best guy. And on the flip side of that coin, I think something that we saw in last year's quarterback competition, Shane, is it almost felt like some of the guys were trying to do a little bit too much, whether that be Bourguet, Pine, or Rashada. Sam Leavitt, I don't think is going to have that pressure now.
Well, you also had 3 guys that this was their first time they had to really compete. I drew Pine aside. Like you had 3 guys that like needed that job. Like you had an incoming freshman who had been in the spotlight his entire high school football career. You had a guy who thought he was the rightful heir to the throne, probably. I mean, he didn't assume that, but like that would be my mindset of coming into this year in Trenton Bourguet. And you have a guy that's coming from a good school in Notre Dame that is assuming he's the top dog. And, and not to say like they were acting like that, like their personalities weren't showing that, but that's got to be the mindset you have coming in. So you had 3 guys that all, like there wasn't a guy that was a clear 1, 2, or 3. Like they were all could be the one. So it was just a weird thing. And you're totally right. It did seem like, sometimes it was a little too, I'm going to take this deep shot because I know this guy doesn't have that arm. Or I want to do this because I know this guy doesn't have it as good as me. And I think this year you can really focus more on, you should have been able to focus more on developing Rashada in spring ball. That can wait till fall. And again, like it's not like all of these big installs are happening right now. You're not running full 11s. Like you just kind of get in the lay of land. And he's going to be able to participate a little bit, obviously, but he's not going to be able to throw. And
he should learn to throw with his left hand. And just switch it up.
Well, those reps, look, I think that's something that, again, Shane, you and I were out at spring last year, and we saw the growth from the very first practice of Jaden Rashada to really that last practice, the spring game, whatever. And it was incredible to see him learn and I think develop just in that short span. Again, for me, you're getting mental reps out there, which I think is going to be obviously important. But the reps physically out there, I think, are just as important, especially with the new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, 100% with the new offensive coordinator. But I think the main thing that matters, and that we saw last year, was like, doesn't matter how many snaps he takes with the ones. Doesn't matter how many routes he throws. What matters is game time. He needs to play games. And he needs to play full speed. And we didn't see enough of that last year. And so the learning curve isn't going to be as sharp. Like, if he doesn't get hurt last year, he's probably a much better player going into the Big 12, which sucks. And it's really unfortunate. But I still have confidence in it. The one thing about Jaden Rashada that is like undoubtedly objectively exciting is his arm talent. Like you don't just wake up and roll out of bed with a cannon like that. The dude has a beautiful deep ball. We've seen the speed he can get on his throws. He has natural talent. And the other things haven't come yet. Some of it's especially whether it be play design that wasn't working or him not knowing the right read and the pressure issues, like that'll come. And that comes with game reps, and he needs more of that. So yes, spring ball sucks that he's not there, but the most important thing is just getting him in actual games.
Yeah.
And more than anything, it's not necessarily like, oh my God, Jaden Rashada is out and now he's screwed and now we're screwed and now the season is over. It's just like, okay, that sucks, right? Like it's just it's a morale thing. It has nothing to do with, to me, like him missing spring ball has no effect on how I feel about this upcoming season.
Yeah, and again, I don't think he's expected to be cleared. Again, this is the article by 24/7 Sports, Chris Cartman. He's expected to be cleared to play through fall camp. Like that is exactly what you want for him to be out there for fall camp, for Camp T. Because yes, spring reps matter, but those fall reps matter even more, especially approaching your first season in a new conference, whatever. And I think this, again, is going to be such a big opportunity for Sam Leavitt, right? I think it gets mistaken or misconstrued on this show that like we are all Jaden Rashada, right? When in reality, you want what's best for the team. For sure. Kenny wants what's best for the program. In the offseason with Jaden healthy, the best thing for the program was to bring in a young guy to compete. And again, it sucks. It's the gut punch that I don't think ASU fans really wanted to see. Some of them probably didn't expect to have it, with spring ball just around the corner, but it is what it is at this point. And I think you do have to look to the bright side of it. The injury bug does suck because it's something that ASU dealt with really, really heavily last year on all fronts. And let's be real, there's not the same level of talent across the board in the quarterback room. I feel like last year there were so many quarterbacks on this roster that now you're looking at the point where it's like, in reality, you got faith in 3 guys and you haven't even seen Sam Leavitt, and now you're behind on 1. So it really is going to be, okay, we're going to put everybody in bubble wrap. Okay. Quarterbacks, do not touch them. Okay. We're going to be carrying them and carting them to all of their classes and everything they got going on this summer. Because you, in reality, you can't afford to have that heading into the season. And I think Kenny knows that. And that's probably why they're shutting down Jaden Rashada this early.
And Sam Leavitt is level 20 Drew Pine. He's a
level 20
he's
Drew
a better
Pine.
Drew Pine. He's started to figure out how to move with his legs a little more. And he's very surgical with the way he throws the ball. He's an exciting guy to have.
No pun intended on that one.
What?
Surgical?
Oh, because Jaden Rashada has
had surgery?
No pun intended there. Bad.
No.
It's gone now.
No, I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
don't even know what I was saying.
No, but you are right with Leavitt. And I feel like, yes, there may be less actual bodies in the quarterback room this year, but I am more confident with the overall state of the quarterback room simply because of Sam. And you haven't seen a ton from him, but from what you have seen, everything that Shane said was correct. And I think now, like with spring ball, like I would not be surprised if, couple practices in, we're sitting here and being like, you know what? Leavitt looks really good.
Yeah, that's a possibility for sure.
Yeah. You know what we're not going to do though, guys? And I already see it starting in the chat. It's sprouting. The seed of this argument sprouting already. We're not going to become Justin Fields and Caleb Williams where these two quarterbacks are setting fan bases apart.
No, we're together.
No, I'm talking about people in the chat right now. House of Heat Sports, stop calling him a bust. You cut that out right now. He is a 19-year-old, 18-year-old.
Last year was his first season.
Yeah, and we barely saw the field because of injuries. Like, let's relax and let's not get on our high horse with Trenton Bourguet should start. He's a better quarterback and he deserves the. Let's see who plays better.
Let's let it play out.
Let's let it play out.
Yeah, you have to.
And let's not argue in the chat about who can throw the ball farther.
Again, we
want ASU football to win.
We haven't seen Sam.
We haven't
seen
seen
Sam. We'll see him very soon. So I think that's, again, there's still so much excitement to be had at spring football.
There's a lot of excitement. Real quick, super chat from Donald says, give me a QB that wins games. I don't care who it is. I'm sick of losing football games.
That's the mentality you got to have.
Yeah, and that's the thing is if Sam Leavitt shows up and he plays better than Jaden Rashada and then it goes into fall and he's still playing better than Jaden Rashada, like that's fine. If he's the best quarterback, he's the best quarterback. But if you want the best in Arizona outside of football, outside of ASU football, you want to go to Gila River Resorts and Casinos because honestly, genuinely, nobody does it better. I know Shane is a huge fan of the vibes over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
I'd be double fisting beers right now, cheering on Ryan Kalkbrenner for putting up the Creighton Blue Jays by 17. This is Creighton basketball.
It is.
See, that's the type of
Taylor Shireman, by the way,
is a bucket.
Stats right now, 15 and 12.
Wow.
He's a dog.
What a guy. What a guy.
Sorry.
No, if you want to put good numbers like Creighton right now, go to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. If you are a fan of watching some March Madness, which I would assume that everybody in here
13.
is 15 and 13. Excuse me. If you're a fan of that, you can go. They've got a bunch of TVs there. They got the BetMGM Sportsbook, and we can get into BetMGM in a second. But if you don't want to just go watch some amazing basketball games, or you want to go later than March Madness or anything like that, they've got a state-of-the-art gaming floor, over 800 slot machines, 15 blackjack tables, live table games, and Arizona's largest casino sportsbook. Plus, if you want to eat, they got upscale, they got approachable, they got rooftop, they got poolside, anything that you want, they have it there. The only caveat is that you have to do you. You can't show up and be somebody else. You can't be fake at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. So go to playatgila.com for more details.
You can be whoever you want. You do you.
You do you.
And if you is being fake, being silly McMuffin, and that's
Silly McMuffin?
Yeah,
but that's not being fake. That's just being
that's
silly.
What a
McMuffin.
name.
That's my crap table's name.
Silly McMuffin?
You're
no,
like, oh crap, Silly McMuffin's back.
It's Jeopardy Beauregard.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's clear. That's clear.
It's also clear that Creighton's a wagon.
Yeah, Creighton is a wagon.
Well, there's
some money on
there's 4 minutes to go, and they're up 15. I'm still a little scared. Oh, Baylor Shireman. Oh no, he kept pump faked me. BetMGM is the place to bet on March Madness. They have a wheel spinning thing. I think it might be too late now. You had to do it yesterday. You might still be able to do it. I'm not 100% sure, but you got to spin a wheel, and it gave you a team. And if they made it to the Sweet 16, you split X amount of money in prizes.
Oh, wow.
It was awesome. And I got somebody asked. I got the Blazers of UAB. So you never know. Shit could happen. We could see that happen. I don't
For
think
UAB, we
I
ride.
believe.
I don't think it's going to happen.
believe.
We ride at dawn.
They got the coolest mascot in one of the coolest
It's
mascots
like a dragon,
in college.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a blazer.
That's crazy.
But it is a dragon. And you can breathe fire after you win some bets. Well, you actually probably can't. Disclaimer: you probably can't do that. But you can win money on BetMGM. Download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit BetMGM.com. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook account and place your wager and receive up to a $1,500 back in bonus bets if it loses. If the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Again, sign up for BetMGM. Use that bonus code PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM mobile sportsbook app for at least $10, and you'll receive $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to ya boy talk about the disclaimer. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. You know the best thing about being an ASU fan?
What?
You don't have to sweat an upset against Long Beach State.
Yeah, I'm chilling right now. I'm chilling. I mean,
actually, my hands are clammy.
Are they?
Yeah,
Are they clammy today?
I got Creighton minus 12. No, not that.
Oh,
They're
one-
not that. Nah, I'm okay. I'll take your word for it.
and those 12 right now.
They're up 15.
That's not what I see.
One of you is behind. Okay?
One of us.
One of you is behind.
How many minutes left?
Regardless.
Oh, they just hit 3.
Look, we will talk
There you
about
go. Sorry, dude.
the ASU basketball player hitting the transfer portal here in just a little bit, but I want to continue talking ASU football
I'm just kidding,
and
Sharon.
everything with Jaden Rashada in the news that came out today. If you're just tuning in, again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I know we got 20-something of you in here. Yeah, Mac just made a random noise in the corner. Not sure if anybody heard that, but she just kind of spawns in the corner.
I heard that if you give a thumbs up, it puts good energy in the air for Jaden Rashada's thumb, and he
there you
heals
go.
faster.
There you go.
So let's make sure to do that. At least try, right? It doesn't hurt trying.
Things you love to see. I will say, and I think if you're talking about everything that has gone on in the offseason at the tail end of last season with Kenny Dillingham and the football program, again, you could talk about the NIL movement. You could talk about the players that came, the players that left, regardless. I think there is still a lot of hope heading into spring ball and this next season for Arizona State football. In terms of the Jaden Rashada injury, we talked about how it impacts the quarterback competition. Again, there are a lot of wide receivers specifically that were already on this roster in advance. Is there one skill guy in particular that you think this impacts maybe a little bit more than any of the others in terms of chemistry, or just getting some of those, reps? These are, again, valuable reps, specifically in a new offense. I think for me, that is something that is, I don't want to say concerning, but it's something that I think I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on.
Raleek Brown.
That was kind of the name that jumped up to
just
me,
because
too.
I think he's going to be used in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
And if you're not, the packages are going to be weird. We already know what Kenny loves to do. I mean, his running back punts. Like, weird things can happen. And I think he's going to be a gadget guy.
Yeah.
But he's going to get a lot of snaps, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and he's obviously a transfer. So,
And it was something that, like, when we talked about him and pairing it with Jaden Rashada, just like that type of tandem of two guys that can really make an electric play, excuse me, or like just do anything on the field, right? Like, be explosive, go downfield. Like, I mean, I know Sharon said in the chat, like, all she wants is to see Jaden Rashada throw deep balls to Elijah Badger. I think Ralik is one of those guys where you can target him in the flat, short, or you can send him downfield. And not saying that Leavitt can't use him and that he's not going to be used a lot, but having a quarterback that can also move their feet really well, and to have that deep ball and somebody who knows the system already, like Jaden Rashada does, that probably does affect somebody like Ralik Brown, who I don't know if he's going to be used as much as some of the other guys on the team, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the most used offensive weapons.
he seems like a Kenny guy.
Ralik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Run the ball.
He's a
Absolutely.
running back, but he's a wide receiver.
He can line up just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Ralph kind of taking my answer here with a fun little nugget,
Well,
saying Kenny said Jake Smith might be the best player on the team regardless of position. And I know Jake Smith participated in spring ball last year, moments in fall camp, but still, I think for me, those game reps are really valuable. And Jaden Rashada has game reps with Elijah Badger. He's got game reps with Bryce Pierre, Melquan Stovall, Troy O'Meara, like some of these other guys. But Jake Smith, in my opinion, is going to be a solidified starter when spring ball is over, assuming everything goes as planned. He is a very, very talented wide receiver. So I think that for me is, again, not too much of a concern, but something I definitely want to keep an eye on.
Didn't it feel like last year every time you'd be like, who's won? And you're like, oh yeah, it's Jake Smith.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Oh, it's Jake Smith.
Yeah.
Like you know what he runs routes like? He's a total.
Oh yeah. He's a guy that's
shifty.
locked in.
Yeah.
Locked in. If he's on defense, he's barking at guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think, again, when you're talking about Arizona State in the state of the program, in the state of spring ball, again, I hate to say it for like a third time, but it really is just like our quarterback in the midst of the quarterback competition.
I'm over it.
Is out. It is what it is. Would you almost be like, let's assume Sam Leavitt tears it up in spring ball, has a phenomenal spring, so good that Kenny says he names Sam the starter at the end of spring.
He wouldn't do that.
Do you not think that's at all a possibility?
No, he wouldn't do that. Not with Jaden. If they both played and Sam went crazy, he would maybe say, Sam has a good shot. But I don't think
I think he'd outright say Sam's our one right now because he likes to fire people up. I think he would do that.
But you don't think he'd name him a starter if he tore it up?
Absolutely not. You don't do that in spring ball unless you have a guy that is coming back from last. Kenny's crazy. He's not that crazy. That's insane.
It is a little out there. It is a little out there.
And I think especially now that one of the guys is injured, like he didn't even get a chance to compete for him to come in and be like, yeah, this guy who transferred in he's going to be the starter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just because he had a great spring when the QB1 last year was injured. Like, that's just, I don't see that happening. And if it does, then I don't know. Then I don't know if you'd have the same response from a Jaden Rashada that you would get when you have somebody transferred in to compete. If it's just like, you don't even get your shot, this guy's going to be the starter.
The last thing I'll say about this entire situation is I'm not concerned, but I'm more interested to see the leadership factor of this, right? Because you have a young quarterback, regardless of who they are, the quarterback position is meant to be a leader, a vocal leader at that.
Yep.
And Jaden Rashada, going down last season with injury, it felt like there were other guys on this team, whether that be a Cam Scadaboo, a Trent Bourguet, Jalen Conyers, offensively that had to kind of step up and lead that offense. I think this was more so the year that with a Jalen Conyers leaving, that you did expect a guy like Jaden Rashada to really ingrain himself and give all of himself to that leadership role. Are you good, Shane? Are you good over here?
Yeah.
Are they crumbling?
No, Kalkbrenner just blocked a 3 and then took the ball in transition, and then it looked like he got his shit stuffed, but by a guard. But I think he got fouled. Look at this. Yoink.
I think it is going to be a little bit more of a challenge on that front.
Also, Rashada, like, people lead in different ways, and Rashada is inherently like a quieter guy.
Yeah.
Because one thing that really got completely misconstrued during the whole Rashada saga with the NIL thing is that he was this like stuck up kid that wanted money.
Yeah.
He is just a kid that wants to play football. And that's something that people don't understand. Especially talking to the kid. You just see it. He just wants to put his head down and play. Especially after what he went through in his college recruitment period. Yeah. And people lead in different ways. You don't have to be a vocal leader. Sometimes you just got to show it, and sometimes you don't have to yell at people, and you just got to play.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Rashada does. And I would like to see him take that next step and be a little more vocal and take control of it. And we saw it a little bit last year, but you don't have to have a guy scream to be a leader.
And the leadership stuff will also come with time. Like he's extremely young. He's barely played any college football, and like he's at a program where they're a little bit lost right now, and they're getting back on track. And I think as he becomes more comfortable with himself and the situation, and a lot of times like the best leaders aren't the ones who are just getting in your face. They're ones who go out there and they show you. And
but the issue is he's not able to now.
Not right now, but if he sits back and Sam Leavitt has a great spring and Jaden Rashada shows up, like a great leader shows up and he comes in firing, and if people say, oh, crap, Jaden Rashada just walked in and said, I'm not messing around. I took this time off seriously. I might have been injured, but I'm going to come in and I'm going to like do my absolute best, dominate, and give it all I got. That's what a leader does. And I think it's like, once he gets more chances to play, get more chances to be out on the field, to get those reps, to be ingratiated with the team, and to be in a winning culture, like the vocal part of the leadership will just come naturally, even if he's not going to turn into a rah-rah guy.
Yeah. Well, that being said, also like if he can't show it, then he might have learn to grow into that role where he becomes a vocal leader.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And this is a good time to see him try to do that. So we'll see if it comes naturally. But regardless, like I think this could be good for him. Like if you're looking at the bright side of things, I think it can be good for him by just sitting back and observing, because him and Kenny are always close. One thing I loved seeing last year from the kid, and it sucks that obviously he's not going to be able to do the kind of the same thing, but he was always talking to Kenny after a route or a mistake. He'd always want to know what he did wrong, and so I feel like he's always going to be pinned to Kenny's side, and that's going to help a little bit too.
Absolutely. Short Bus with a good question. It's or not really a question, just a statement. It's still Rashada's job to lose, in my opinion. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel if you're the returning guy and there's been so much poured into you and you went through last season, and it's not like Sam Leavitt is like a world beater. He's not somebody that comes in and just immediately, shakes up everything. He's one of the guys that you bring in and you say, that's interesting. Yeah. I wonder what that could turn into. But that doesn't mean that automatically, they're on the same playing field.
I think if this team is more talented, it's a little bit of a different conversation. Mm-hmm. It might be Bourguet's job to lose. But we've heard Kenny talk about this doesn't happen in 1 to 2 years. This is a 3-4 year thing where you need to build a culture, and he knows that they're not ready to win a national championship yet, obviously.
That's next year.
And I think that goes into, yes, you always want to win games, as many as you can right now, but you also want to look for the future.
Yeah.
And getting a guy like Rashada, who, if he's capable enough to win you football games, like you start him because of the upside and the longevity and how long he can be at your program and impact all the players there and become a leader.
And we talk about, with any college program now, football, basketball, baseball, like having continuity over multiple seasons.
Huge.
It's really important, especially because like there will never be a season where a majority of of the roster, there's not a lot of people leaving, right? Like with football, with basketball, like with baseball now too, like people are going to leave. Like you're going to exchange a lot of parts almost every single season because it's just inevitable. That's just the way that things are. But if you can have a couple core pieces. That's why it's so important that Elijah Badger is staying around. That's why it's so important that Cam Scadaboo is staying. And that's why it's important to understand that Jaden Rashada maybe right now isn't as great as he could be, but that's fine because if Jaden Rashada is a Sun Devil for his entire collegiate career, by the time he is a senior, and he's had some Big 12 football under his belt, and he's had a lot of starts, and he's had quarterback competitions and different skill guys coming in and transfers, and he's come into his own and he's become a really good quarterback. Not only is that great for fan buy-in perspective because you're like, we have our guy and look at this homegrown guy that we got and we didn't lose him, and he was with us when there was a self-imposed bowl ban and a 3-win season and everything was crap, and now who knows where they're going to be if he's in his 4th year, playing quarterback for ASU. Like being able to keep him around and investing in him when things are on the lower end, like it will pay dividends. Like it will be better in the long term. And I think part of the reason why I believe that is because I do believe in Jaden Rashada. Yeah, I do believe that he can become, like when you're in the Big 12, one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12. And I don't think that that's a crazy thing to say at this point. You just need to give him A, time to grow, and B, time on the field.
Speaking of fan buy-in, you can buy in to the stadium.
You can buy into the stadium, and you can go check out some of the games. And hey, maybe you don't necessarily want to go to a sporting event. Maybe you want to go to a comedy show, or you want to go to...
Tim Robinson is here in May.
Is he really?
May 1st. I already bought tickets.
Wow.
Our boy SB does some comedy stuff as well. Maybe you can go to an SB show.
Yeah,
on Game Time.
absolutely. Not only that, but they've got tickets for literally everything over at Game Time. Actually, just came back from a concert literally, what, week ago? It was absolutely phenomenal. Got another concert in a couple weeks. Shout out Game Time.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Canada.
What is with you with going to concerts? Like,
I like going, like, if I'm going to go
Where
do
who
a
are you
concert, Noah Con.
Really?
Yeah, in Quebec City. So,
You gonna cry?
no, I'm not going to
Oh,
cry.
you might cry.
Why would you expect me to cry?
Because music's emotional.
I already saw him once.
Yeah, you're gonna cry.
Did I cry the first time?
Yeah.
No, I didn't
I was
cry the
there.
first
I was
time.
holding your hand.
I'm not okay. I'm not crying because
I
of
was
the
wiping
concert.
away your tears right here.
I'm really crying because of how affordable the prices are over at Game Time, guys. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, and use that code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
a real life testimony to just how cheap it is for Game Time is the fact that you can travel to Canada to go see a concert. The fact that
Literally,
you have money left over.
Where is it?
they're like floor seats, and it was like $60 a piece.
Where is it in Canada?
I'd have to look up the name of the arena.
No, like what city?
Quebec City.
Oh, it's in Quebec. Sorry.
Yeah. We have a
Listen, guys,
layover in Toronto. If anybody in Toronto wants to come say what's up.
we're talking ASU football investing, you know, maybe not being in the best state, but building the foundation and getting towards the future and better stuff in the future. And, you know, if you want to invest in yourself and you want to invest in your home, your apartment, if you own it, really wherever, your business, you want to start at the floor. And if you don't have nice floors, then people are going to walk in there, look at the floors, they're going to be like, what the hell's going on
It's
here?
the
This place doesn't have
foundation,
nice
man.
floors.
It's the
It's the foundation.
You know what? You know what else? Empire Flooring, the most slappable floors.
Yeah?
Defense.
Yeah, let's see. We're slapping the floors right here. Look, we got good floor here at PHNX. We've had guests come into the studio, and I've heard multiple people say, this is a nice floor. This is a nice little setup here. And the best part about Empire is they're super convenient, and they're going to work with you to find the best floor for your home. And not only are they going to be easy, quick, and convenient on the personal side, but even if you just want to see how the floors are going to look in your house, in your business, they have a virtual floor visualizer where you just hold your phone up, you take a picture, and boom, you can see what the floors are going to look like. Because the last thing you want to do is invest a lot of money into something and then it turns out to not be what you want.
Facts.
Like I've seen people up close and personal renovate their homes and afterwards look at everything and go, that's not really what I expected it to be. And you don't want to do that. And you can avoid that with Empire today. And on top of all of that, on top of everything, their customer service, their convenience, their good price, all listeners right now can receive, listen to me, $350 off. That's a massive discount. $350 off right now if you use promo code PHNX. Guys, at-home service, convenience, quick, easy. They've been around forever. You definitely want to check out Empire today. You can schedule a free in-home estimate, and all listeners, again, receive $350 off. Literally, $350.
That's free.
That's a lot of bones.
It's free money. Free money. Look, last thing.
Creighton minus 12 just hit, by the way.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Never in doubt.
For those of you Sam Leavitt believers, which I think at this point everybody needs to be one or should be one, I am somebody, again, that I think Sam Leavitt is a very talented quarterback. I will say, though,
Sam Leavitt is very talented
he's a
quarterback.
very talented quarterback, but you should probably just pump the brakes a tad because quarterbacks that transfer to Arizona State don't have they haven't had much success. You look at the track record. We're talking about Blake Barnett, Paul Tyson, Drew Pine, Jacob Conover. Might have been the worst football player I've ever seen. And I'm not even joking.
That's so sad, man. I covered him in high school.
I coached Pop Warner football at one point, and Jacob Conover might have not been the starting quarterback.
That is very
that is pretty mean.
It was bad.
It was sad, man. I really liked.
Take that back.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
You just said Jacob Conover is less talented than a fucking child.
Well, maybe I'm hurt by BYU. You know, maybe BYU.
Yeah,
I'm letting it leak over. It's tough. It's tough.
You guys BYU's on your mind.
They're on my mind because they lost and they're frauds. They're frauds. It is what it is at this point. But let's talk about what?
Nothing.
Let's talk about the Arizona State basketball player that entered the transfer portal.
Derek.
The third one that entered the transfer portal, forward Akil Watson, a guy that I think everybody kind of expected was probably going to hit the portal. However, not ideal to have back-to-back seasons, both your freshmen hit the portal.
Yeah. No, there's no way around that one. That's not good. That's not good at all. The only silver lining, and again, there's no way around this one because you want to develop your freshmen. The only silver lining is all four of them didn't really play major minutes near the end of the year.
Yeah.
So We love Duke Brennan. He's a dog. It was fun. He's whatever. Also, he is not getting minutes at Ole Miss. It might have just been a miss. These two guys you don't know. The jury's not out until you see next year. Hopefully, one, if not both of them, come back. But look, as I said yesterday, I mean, yeah, you're losing 6 guys, but you're also gaining 4 and 1 in the portal. You only need to fill 2 more spots right now. Like,
assuming nobody else leaves.
Yeah, assuming, and I'm sure there'll be a couple more departures, but assuming nobody else leaves, like, you just got to fill a couple spots in the portal, and Bobby's good at filling a couple spots in the portal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that I told you, Shane, is that the streets have been talking.
Yeah,
the streets have been saying.
They've been saying
they've been saying that. Well, they always say you're cute. That's on the billboard on the streets.
So that's what's
the street signs say. Shane's cute. Yeah. No. The streets have been telling me that Brandon Love, Texas State forward, is just a name to keep in mind as Arizona State moves through the transfer portal trying to get some players. Not the flashiest of names, not obviously coming from the flashiest of schools, but Arizona State, Bobby Hurley, definitely interested in a guy that is kind of a defensive machine in the minutes that he did play at Texas State. So, again, something to just keep an eye on as the transfer portal season
Jaden
continues.
Dolores, Texas State.
Jaden Dolores, Texas State. What about you, Eric? How do you feel about the whole Akil Watson situation?
It's a little similar to the conversation that we had before, where it's more of like a optics thing rather than this devastates Arizona State men's basketball. How will they recover? It's just like you would like to see them keep him, right? You don't want to see consecutive years where these young guys leave. And we talk about it with Jaden Rashada, obviously very different like positions as far as playing time and how the program is relying on them. But like, to be able to keep somebody and develop them, like those are the parts of college basketball that not only can help your team, but helps with fan buy-in as well. If you have somebody who goes and watches a game and it's a different group of players every single year, then it's hard to kind of get behind everything. And with the transfer portal and everything like that, it's inevitable, which is why it's important to maybe keep your young guys. But I don't really blame him for leaving, especially because there is such a good class coming in next year and a lot of young guys who will be getting playing time. And he might just be caught in that middle stage of, I'm not a vet. I'm not somebody like a Frankie Collins or an Adam Miller who's going to have been around and be a very important cog to the team last year. And I'm not going to be one of these high-ranked freshmen in one of our best recruiting classes that we've had who's going to come in and get a good look, because that's kind of what we need right now.
Yeah.
And maybe he had a conversation with Bobby, and Bobby's like, you know what? Like, I'd love to have you be here, and I'd love to have you be a part of the team, but I'm not exactly sure where you fall in and how many minutes I can realistically see you getting. And if I'm a guy who's a freshman and now I'm going to be a sophomore, and I want to play and I want to be in a position where I feel like I'm going to be relied upon way more than last season, like I don't blame him for leaving. And I can't sit here and say he's going to go off and be one of these former Sun Devils that goes on to average 15 points per game. Something like you just don't know with him. And that's the good and the bad part of this, is you just don't know. He could be somebody that you're not missing in a year or two, or he could be somebody who's like, wow, I can't believe that he was sitting on the bench for a majority of the season for 1 year at ASU before he left.
Yeah. Somebody brought up earlier in the chat that Bobby might have just straight up told him that he probably won't get minutes and he should go find another, because Bobby's very similar to Kenny in that, where he's just going to tell him how he feels. And Short Bus, even though it doesn't seem like that, he did play in 21 games. Sadly, he played in a lot of garbage time minutes, and sadly, most of those were in blowouts. So he did play in 21 games, only 6 minutes. But yeah. And then Daniel, can you scroll down a little bit? There's another comment that I wanted to get to. How's he eat sports? I think this is just the ASU negativity fan base in your head. Saying, my question is, why does every player transfer out of ASU right before they have a potential breakout season? Who has done that except for DJ Horn? And DJ Horn really only erases averages by a small margin. It doesn't really happen
literally
in
by
basketball.
3 points, maybe.
It doesn't really happen in basketball.
And a lot of it is a new system, right?
A lot of it is you're transferring to a lower level school. If you're talking about John Olmstead, Montana State is not a ASU. And also he was averaging what, like 5 points a game?
Yeah,
there?
no, he had a really good end. Like when they played Montana at the end of their conference.
Didn't they play
Grambling
State the other day and lose?
Yes, they did. They were up too, and Grambling State bounced back.
And Remy was a sixth man. Like
and even at ASU, Remy had a phenomenal.
Yeah,
season.
Remy's numbers went down.
Yeah,
Remy won a national championship and was an integral part in that. But like,
I think it's less.
Hasid, I know it's just being an ASU fan. Like it does feel like that. But you look at the recent track record. Like Warren Washington is fine.
He's fine.
DJ Horn is
my favorite thing that Shane
very
says.
good.
He's fine.
But we've known he's good, and we're gonna see those two square off today, which is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm stoked about that. But yeah, mostly football, I guess. But
I think it's just hard when you're in a position now with ASU athletics and you see a bunch of people like leaving, even if they're not doing significantly better than they did at ASU, just to go see them like play well somewhere else. Like it's hard from a fan perspective, from a personal perspective, because like sometimes you got to be able to separate that. Like you want the best for people, and you want them to be in a situation that they're comfortable in and they're happy in and it's best for their career and all of that. But selfishly, you want the guys who play well to stay at your school. So even if it's not breakout or they're 10 times better when they leave ASU, or they were so bad when they were here, now they're so good when they leave, just if they leave and they're contributing to their team and they're being positives on the field, you always talk yourself into what if, or why not us? Why can't that be it? And when that is kind of a pattern, and that is something that when you see a bunch of people leave and your programs are not where you want them to be, it's a harder pill to swallow. If ASU football was a wagon last year and all the players that left played well, nobody would care.
Yeah.
But that's just not where we are.
JJ brings up the only one that I can think of, Jalen House.
Jalen House.
But I knew Jalen House was going to go do great things. Like he's been, oh my God, he's been one of my favorite players to watch ever since he played high school ball here. Like he is just, I can't wait to watch them play. Dude, UNM is so hot right now.
It's March Madness, man. It's March Madness.
He seems like the perfect March Madness type player.
Oh,
too.
absolutely. Absolutely. There are a couple players, I think, across the tournament that you're like, this team and this guy specifically could go on a little bit of a run. But I think it's a good thing that nobody is seeing Circle K in the tournament, because Circle K is blowing out everybody. I have a confession. I did break. Yesterday.
So
I stopped at Circle K and I got an energy drink. But also, right, first off, had a phenomenal workout. Shout out Circle K for fueling the workout. But also, I found these things, right? Big on Ghost Energy, no free ads, but this is Circle K. I've only found this at Circle K. It's like a hydration drink. Absolutely phenomenal. And that's one of a million things that they have over at Circle K.
What the hell is Aquaman?
It's
not a real thing.
It's got vitamins. It's got all sorts of things. They've got snacks. They've got great deals.
Seaweed-derived calcium citrate. Like those aren't real words.
You can only find that at Circle K.
You can only find that type of stuff over at Circle K, guys. And not to mention, they're going to help you save money every single day with Inner Circle. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, and then 3 cents per gallon every single day after that. Not to mention, you're going to get every 6th free on a selection of Circle K products. I know it's so great. Shane can't even wipe the smile off of his face, guys. We're talking pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and so
Circle
much
K's got
more.
Gas and num-nums.
And little snackies.
And
little snackies.
Little treats.
Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
Yep. Desert Financial Credit Union. I was trying to think of a great transition, but
that was good.
But yeah, that was really good.
I like that one.
But I'm worried about Illinois right now.
Oh, really?
You're worried about Illinois?
Yeah, they're losing 17 to 13 early. It's fine.
It's early.
You crapped on Moorhead's name, man.
Yeah, well, Moorhead State deserves to be crapped on. DFCU does not deserve to be crapped on because they are the best. The Desert Financial team are financial experts who are committed to their members and the community, offering financial solutions tailored to helping real people. That's you and you. Well, I don't know about you.
I'm a fake person.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, and I touch you to I feel like my hand's gonna go through you.
Yeah.
And they want to help you achieve your financial goals and dreams. Look to Desert Financial for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and a whole lot more. Now is the time to show your ASU team spirit. Open a free checking account online and get $200 plus your choice of 3 Arizona State University Visa debit cards. They are sweet. They are cool. You can see it in the bottom left corner of the screen. If you're listening on audio, it's sparky and it's beautiful. And plus, you get the choice of those cards. And all you got to do it is go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started today.
Love it. You know what else I love, Shane?
The fact that we get to go watch March Madness for the rest of the day.
Not only that, because we don't get to watch it for the entire day. We got to go talk to Kenny today. We're going to talk to Kenny Dillingham, some of those ASU football assistants. Obviously, stay up to date.
I'm going to be like, Kenny, give me 1 second. Hold on. Can you keep talking after a timeout happens? Hold on.
There you go.
Kenny, your thoughts on Colorado State, Texas?
There you go. Now, look, we're going to talk to Kenny Dillingham and some of those assistants. We'll have all that audio for you guys on Friday and Saturday's show. But like I said, stay locked in on social at PHNX_Sun Devils. And before we get out of here, Donald with, of course, the Daily Fire Bobby Hurley. We're going to put that $4.99 straight to the Fire Bobby Fund. Well, Donald has his own fund.
Yeah, Donald has a Fire Bobby Hurley.
Fire Bobby Fund.
Only his super chats go to the Fire Bobby Hurley Fund.
And it says, I have to say it, Fire Bobby fucking Hurley.
Well, actually, all you have to say is Fire BFH.
BFH, there you go.
Who's that? Who knows?
Who knows?
You'll never know.
knows?
You'll never
Yeah,
know.
I don't love the Illinois score either, JJB.
Guys, that is going to do it for today's show. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can follow the show at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow this guy right over here at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow DJ Danielle at Abraca Danielle across social. And you can follow this guy right here, Big Pokey, at Shane Deef.
Just giving out certified freaking winners every Monday through Friday at 11:45-ish on the PHNX Daily Bet Show on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel.
And
As
we'll see you
always.
Friday. We'll see you Friday. In the meantime, guys, go Devils. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.